Recently, there was a bit of discourse surrounding Alastor and his asexuality. I did a short on the topic, and it ended up bringing me down a rabbit hole that I think is worth talking about. In this video, I'll discuss the history of Alastor and answer whether or not he's Aro Ace. So before we get into the recent discussion around the character, we first have to look at Alastor's history. Alastor is well known as one of Viv's earliest characters. Vivzie has gone on the record to say this many times, and we can see it clear as day in a tweet of hers from 2018, where she says that she made him in 2008. You could probably already tell that he's one of Viv's favourite characters, given how much personality and character he has. Like the rest of the Hazbin cast, Alastor started out life as a character in Vivzie's Euphoria series. Him and the rest were scheduled to have a huge part in the story, specifically in the Angels and Demons arc of Zoophobia. He was a cannibalistic shapeshifter with hypnotic eyes. His teammate informs that he'd switch between where his true form, which was a red deer, and a humanoid appearance which resembles the Alastor we know today. The Zoophobia wiki mentions two scrapped characters that had their traits stitched together with Alastor. The first was Jax, who was the original Sin of Wrath. She was a psychopathic killer. The second was Malvada, who was a red deer and was meant to be a central antagonist. After checking these characters out, I can definitely see why the wiki mentions them. It's pretty clear that Vivzie cut them both and gave their traits to Alastor, making him into what he is today. At this time, Alastor had a crush on the main villain of the series called Casey. As you can probably tell, Casey is extremely similar to Alastor both personality and design-wise. She has the same demonic appearance and yellow-teeth grin that Alastor has. She's also seen using magic and shape-shifting powers reminiscent of Alastor. Vivzie also drew art of the pair embracing and even kissing in one piece. So it's pretty clear that Viv was planning for the pair to be a couple. As the years passed, Zoophobia evolved and Alastor was instead changed to have a relationship with another character called Mimsy. I wasn't able to find out if there was any updates about him and Casey, but it seems like that plot point revolving around their romance was scrapped. Vivzie made various art pieces of the pair and described Mimsy as being head over heels for Al. Various sketches from Viv depict them embracing each other, again reiterating that the love was reciprocal and Vivzie intended for them to be a couple. Fast forward a couple of years and Zoophobia is put on an indefinite hiatus, and Viv recycled the ideas to create Hazbin Hotel. As we've seen so far, Alastor has been in two romantic relationships with female characters, so for most fans he was seen as straight. This all changed in a tweet posted on October 11, 2018, where Vivzie for the first time ever confirms that Alastor is asexual. Made for National Coming Out Day 2018, the image confirms that Angel is gay, Charlie is bi, and Alastor is asexual. It also introduces the plot point that Alastor and Angel are quite old, so they're not well versed on gender or labels, which causes Angel to make a joke about Alastor liking meat. After scrolling through the replies and quote retweets, it seems like fans took the news quite well. A lot of them probably didn't know about Alastor's old backstory, so seeing the news was the first time they heard about Alastor and his sexuality. It is also a great moment for Ace fans of the show, as it meant that Alastor was a form of representation for them. However, a couple months later in December, Viv did a tweet mentioning that she's noticed some ship bullying. She says the characters are all canon in specific ways, however you should have fun shipping whatever you want. She says not to rag on anyone with ships they don't like since they aren't hurting anyone. It's pretty clear that this tweet was made to address shipping as a whole, but most likely is referring to Alastor as well. The ship bullying discourse will continue to be a bit of an issue as time went on, with Viv mentioning it several times. In February 19th, 2019, during episode 5 of the Hunicast, Viv talks about Alastor's sexuality, and receives a donation asking what type of asexual he is, and whether or not he'll have sex at all. I'll play the clip.
Well, that's why
Yes.
that's why I've been very quiet on whether or not Al is aromantic or not, because I'm just like, I don't want to spoil anyone's fun. It's not really story relevant, so let's just go with whatever you want.
There you go.
for now. I know the answer, but I won't say.
Yeah, sorry. Thank you very much, though, Phantom's Angel 216.
So basically, Viv is saying she's already answered the question on Al's romantic attraction by saying that. However, she says she doesn't want to ruin anyone's fun, so she won't reveal the true answer. In my opinion, I think she's confirming that Alastor is aromantic asexual here. However, a running theme that you'll come to notice is that she won't explicitly say it because it could sink ships. Personally for me, if I was a showrunner, I wouldn't care what some shippers think. I think it's a bit fruitless if you're going to say people can ship whatever they want. However, you won't reveal a key trait about a character in case it upsets some shippers. If the shippers cry rent-free about it, then let them. The fact that Viv didn't outright confirm Alastor's identity will lead to several more issues as we go down the line. Moving into 2020, Faustisse, who was an artist working in the Hazbin Prequel comics, would livestream her work regularly. She was a best friend of Viv, dating back to at least 2012. Fans would donate during the stream and ask lore questions. questions. Since Faustisse was so close with Viv, she was privy to most of the show's lore and would reveal it to whoever asked, provided it wasn't huge spoilers, since Faust was under NDA. On January 5th, Faustisse was working on the Alastor prequel comic and was asked several questions. This isn't really relevant, but Faustisse said that we will see what Alastor looked like as a human at some point in the series, which I think is really interesting. During one of Faustisse's streams, Faust was asked about Alastor's asexuality and stated that Alastor was aromantic asexual. However, Viv was worried about the shippers and as a result kept the aromantic part of Alastor's identity in the closet. The stream has since been lost to time, unfortunately. However, I'll have a transcript of what Faust said up on screen if you'd like to pause and read in your own time. It's really interesting. Basically, Faust says that Alastor is Aro Ace. Viv was scared to reveal that, however it's completely canon. After this news broke, some fans went completely off the rails, especially on Twitter. Some even said they were so annoyed by the news that they were going to leave the fandom. This basically reiterates what I said earlier, that some of these shippers are complete losers and there's nothing to be gained from pandering to them. You'll end up annoying people regardless of what side you take, so the best course of action is just to reveal Alastor's sexuality officially. From this point on, Alastor was widely regarded as Aro Ace in the fandom. In a December 2020 livestream, Viv again reiterated her previous statements by saying that Alastor is asexual and has a canonical orientation. However, she won't spoil it and will let the shippers have their fun. Fast forward to 2024 and Hazbin Hotel finally releases. During the show, Rosie makes a comment that Alastor is an ace in the hole, which basically means she's saying he's asexual, but fans also interpreted it as him being aromantic as well. After this, there was some discussion surrounding Alastor and his labels, and during a panel, Alastor's new voice actor Amir Talai said, "I wouldn't ship Alastor because he's Aro Ace." This was seen by many as further confirmation that Alastor is Aro Ace. However, later over on Twitter, Amir said that he misspoke and that it was a mistake. He says that to him, Alastor being Ace is canon, but him being aromantic is unknown. In my opinion, I think Amir accidentally let slip that Alastor was Aro Ace. However, he was forced to backtrack in case the shippers got angry, and during that same month, Viv liked the tweet saying not to take everything Faustisse says at face value, so now everything she has ever said has been put into question. So, with the entire backstory covered, it's time to answer the question, is Alastor asexual or Aro Ace? Well, as you've seen, Alastor is canonically asexual. This has been mentioned several times over the years and even in the show, so it's pretty set in stone. Is Alastor aromantic? Well, this is where things get a little tricky. There's been numerous hints and statements that either hint at or explicitly say that Alastor is aromantic. It's abundantly clear at this point that this bit of info is being withheld so that shippers are protected. Personally, I don't really understand this debate. I think shipping is meant to be about having fun, creating pairings, and making what-if scenarios. What if Alastor dated Charlie? What if Vox dated Alastor? And what if Alastor dated Mimsy? These are all interesting concepts and are perfect for discussion and cool fan art. The people waging wars with each other over these ships are complete morons. It's a total waste of time. As a lot of fans will be aware, shipping is a bit of a nightmare because regardless of what you say or do, you'll piss people off. In the eyes of Viv and the team, if they outright label Alastor as aromantic asexual, it'll cause drama because the people shipping Alastor with anyone will get hate. For example, Charlister shippers. However, as you've seen throughout this video, not addressing the root cause has created just as many issues, if not more, than if they had just went out and said, yeah, so Alastor is Aro Ace by the way. I think the people hurt by this the most are the Aro Ace fans. They lose proper representation just so that some shippers won't cry for a couple days on Twitter. It's a shame. So in conclusion, I reckon that Alastor is Aro Ace. But I'd love to hear your opinion down below. I wanted to make this video after doing a short on the topic the other day. Most fans were completely confused about Alastor's lore, and anytime you asked for some proof or context, people would just say it was confirmed on a livestream and refuse to elaborate. I thought it was about time for someone to finally sit down and make a well-researched video on the topic, so that fans have at least some sort of closure on Alastor's identity. If you liked the video, dislike it, or have any thoughts about what I discussed, I'd love you to leave them in the comments section down below. I'm also fast approaching 500,000 subscribers, so thanks a lot for that. And cheers for sticking this far to the end of the video. Thanks for watching.